Namaste everyone, this is Shrikant Rangal again, and we are here for the second day of this faculty development program wherein we'll be covering the effective use of Moodle for NAAC and NBA. So for today we'll be discussing the phase 0 of implementing Moodle platform for your institute, and phase 0 actually focuses on faculty members who are not familiar with Moodle, who are not comfortable using technology a lot, like most of our elderly faculty members, who are having a lot of experience and who know how to deal with students, but they are a little challenged when it comes to using technology in their education. So basically what we'll do here for phase 0 is we will just create accounts for the students, and we will create accounts for the faculty members and create courses for different subjects and add faculty members and students. Enroll, this process is called enroll. The process of adding the students and teachers into a particular course is called enrolling. So we will learn about enrolling, and then once the course is available to the teachers, we will discuss about what a teacher can do to upload his or her notes that he has already created, either in written format, manually written format, or in the soft copy format, whatever files he is having for the notes and other material for the particular subject. We'll learn about how to add these material to the Moodle course. So we are here on the Moodle site of our college, and if we go to my courses, we'll see this particular interface. So right now I'm signed in as a teacher, and for making the changes, for creating the courses and other stuff, I must be logged in as an administrator. So first let me log out, and then I'll log in back. So this time, instead of using my own account, I'll have to use the admin account. The name of admin account will be admin itself, and I should know, of course, the password for this. And once I'm signed in, I will have the ability, I will have all the privileges of an administrator. So the function of an administrator is to maintain the site. He has to create the courses, he has to upload the users into the Moodle, and he must add teachers to the particular course and provide them with the role of a teacher. And only when a person added to a course is allotted the role of a teacher will they be able to add the contents to the course. Students do not have the ability to add any contents to the course or modify course in any way unless the teacher decides to do so. So let's go ahead and understand first how to add the users into the Moodle. Okay, so for that we'll have to go into site administration, and then you have an option here called users. So this is where we can browse the list of all the users. Okay, so today comparatively the site is loading much faster, okay, compared to yesterday. So you can see here that a lot of students have been added here, and for convenience purpose I have used the first name as the roll number, and in the surname I have typed the whole name of the student. So we can see all the students, the list of all the students which are already present here on this Moodle site, and we can also see when did they last accessed this particular site. There are some students who have not accessed this for about an year. This is because for these students no new courses have been developed, and that's why they have not signed into this particular course. Whereas if you arrange it by the most recent accessed order, we can see that a lot of students have accessed just minutes before this current time. So this is where we can see the list of all the users. But for us, for the users who are using it for the first time, we must understand how to add the users here. So no other person will be able to access the course or the contents which are uploaded on Moodle unless they have been added here as an authenticated user. And all these users, including myself and the administrator, all of them are actually called as authenticated users. So an authenticated user will be able to sign in to the course. So whether he has access to a course or not, that is a different matter. So just for having the ability to sign in to the Moodle course, a person should be added as user, authenticated user. So in order to add new users, there are two methods. First is we can add a new user as an individual. If you have one or two users to be added, we can just click on add a new user, and when it opens up, we can type in the username. Username is like an ID which you have for email ID as well. So this is the name which students type in when they are signing in to the new site. So let us enter a new user. Let us create a new user here with the same name as new user. We can type in a password, and if you want the person to change the password as soon as he logs in for the first time, then we should click this button. Now here onwards we can add in the details of the person. Let's say new, surname is user, and then mail ID new user or something. So if you have a college related ID, we can provide that to the person. It doesn't require to be a valid email ID. If you don't know the email ID, you can just enter whatever you wish, and later you can modify this to a relevant ID. So all these other things, some of these things you can see they have been filled by default. I can add a picture of the person over here, and if you are interested in any other additional steps, we can enter those as well, but these are not mandatory, so we can just ignore them for now. And when you click create user, the user will be created. Now if you just want, let us just check out how this user, this new user, will be able to sign into the website. Now you can see I have opened an incognito window, which means no other signed in windows are accessible around here. So I should go back to open the Moodle site, and I have to click login. Fine. So as a guest also, I have the access to some of these courses, you can see, because the guest access has been enabled. So a person who is not logged in, okay, so most of the courses do not allow that, but if we enable the guest access, then the people will be able to access parts of the courses, at least the notes and videos and other activities will be accessible to the guests as well, only if the guest access is enabled. So in order to go into the website, any user has to sign in here. So we had created a new user with this ID, new user, and the password that we had typed was 12345. So let me log in here, and as soon as I log in, you can see here, because I had chosen an option wherein the user will be asked to change the password. So this is the interface which is asking me to change my password. So for this, I need to know what is my current password, and then I have to type a new password. Click save changes, and now the new password has been saved. You can see the password has changed option is appeared here, and the user can now continue. And because before signing in, I had tried to get into this particular course. Now it is telling me that I cannot enroll myself into the course. So right now I'm just an authenticated user on the site. Fine. So if I try to access, I can just see how many courses are available on this particular website, and I can just browse through all the different courses. Like for 5th sem, okay, it will take some time to load. Then 7th sem, humanities. So whatever categories are there are different courses in different categories. So I can browse through the different categories. I can see what are the different courses, but as soon as I try to get inside any of these courses, it will give me an error message telling me that I cannot enroll myself into that particular course. Now let us add this new user to one of the courses. So let's go to, okay, my courses will not show any courses because administrator is not added to any of the courses. So as an administrator, I must go to home page, and from here I need to add that student, enroll that student into one of the courses. So I want to go in for okay, this is engineering graphics is the course I want to add him to. So yeah, that particular course is in the mechanical departments category, and this is the course I want to add him to. When I go inside of this, I'll get an option called participants. So these users have been enrolled into this particular course. The course we are watching here is the engineering graphics lab, and all these users that I can see here, they have been added to this particular course, but the new user has not been added here. So if I look for keywords and search for new user, apply filters, I can see that this new user has not been added over here, and that is the reason why the new user is not having any of the courses when he goes to the new user, my courses interface. Fine, let me keep these windows side by side so that you can easily see what is happening. So on the left we have the window wherein I am signed in as an administrator, and on the right I am signed in as a new user. So we can see there are no courses when the user chooses my courses option. As soon as I add or enroll that student over here, I'll get the user back over here. So let's go ahead and add that. So I'll have to click enroll users. So this interface will open asking me which students I want to add. So I have to choose the user. I know the user of username. So let's just type new user, and you can see that particular ID has now appeared here. Now when I click it and click on enroll, and if I so one user has been enrolled, you can see. And now if I just refresh this from the window wherein I am signed in as that particular user, now you can see that particular course has appeared for the new user. Okay, so you can continue to add this new user to any courses that you want to add him to. So as an administrator, I have the ability to add any user to any course, whereas as a teacher I will have ability to add only students to courses wherein I am allotted as a teacher. Okay, so let's go inside this particular course and try to see if we are having the ability to modify the contents. So when the new user signs in for the first time, this a kind of a guide appears here in the beginning, which shows the user what are the different places. Right? So what are the different, how to use the interface, how to navigate the interface. A few of the steps will be shown. So you can just click on got it and move ahead with it. So now you can see that I don't have an option to edit. Fine, so I can just go inside, take a look at the different courses and materials. If I click here, I'll get a complete this one, the different pages. I can also go with next to the different pages of the notes. Okay, so I'm able to see the notes, I'm able to study from the notes, but I don't have the ability to make any edits into this course. Okay, so because I'm signed in as a student, I don't have access to any editing options. So let us say I want this new user to become a teacher. Now on the left side again, I'm signed in as an administrator, so I have the option of making any modifications over there. So when I see here, when I go back to participants list, in the participants, now the new user will appear over here. Okay, So in fact all the names have been shown here. Let me just choose keyword, search for new user, apply properties, apply filters, and then that new user has now appeared. Now if you see here under the roles, this has been listed as a student. If as an administrator, if I want to change this, I just have to click on the button, remove the student option, and from the drop down I can choose a teacher, and I just have to click on this floppy disk to save it. Now you can see that this new user has been allotted with the role of a teacher, and on the right side now here I am signed in as a new user. So as soon as I refresh this, we can see that now an additional option for editing the course has appeared here at the top right corner. So before here this option was not there, but as soon as the rules were changed on the spot, the rules were applied here, and when I'm signed in as a new user, I'm getting this option to edit the course. So if I just click on this, now the editing has been toggled on. Now in this from here, now I'm getting the option to make edits here. So if I click on the plus sign, a new page will be created. If I just click on this I, that particular page will be hidden from all the students. I can move the topic up or down. I can go, if I want to change the contents of this particular course, I have to click on this gear icon. I can delete the courses, okay, delete the pages, and so on. So this way I can edit the book, not just the book. If I go here back to the complete course, now as a teacher I also have option, okay, because we are now first time signed in as a teacher, it's giving us a tour, so it will show us a few things, and if once that is over it will end. So as a teacher I have an option to add a new activity. Okay, so I can add any of these activities. We'll learn about these activities one by one. So we'll be mostly dealing with assignments part, and we'll be dealing with file upload. So these are the two activities we'll be covering in the phase 0. Okay, so we can add any new activity, and I can also add a new topic. A topic is just a collection of activities which are grouped together for easy navigation purpose. So we can just minimize it, or when we maximize it, all these activities are visible. So once I'm done with this particular topic, I can just minimize it, go directly for the next topic. So I can add new topic, I can add a new activity or resource, and all these things are possible for me to do here. So at this point we know that a student, when added to a course, will have access to only the contents. He cannot make any modifications to the content. But when he is added as a teacher, when the role is changed to a teacher, he will get ability to make the changes. So both a student and teacher are authenticated users on the Moodle, but they are playing a different roles that are decided by the administrator. I hope you have got a good idea about what it is that's going on around here. Now let's go to the next step, wherein I want to create a new course. Okay, so we have to come back to the left window wherein we are signed in as an administrator, and then we should go to the course tab. Okay, all right, so we should first come to dashboard, I guess. Yeah, so we should come to the dashboard or home. Okay, that option is not here. So let's go to the administration. That's the best place to get all the settings. So from here we can go to courses, and we can go to manage courses. So when it opens up, it will appear like this, and we can see all the categories of the courses on the left side, we can expand or minimize the categories, and when we select a particular category, all the courses in that particular category will appear on the right side. So this is what we can do around here. So if you want to create a new course as an administrator, we have to click on create new course. So here we have to type a new course, full name of the new course. So new course, let us say for demo purpose, and in short we can just type it as demo. So this short name, we can use it for putting the course IDs. Every university has a course ID for every course that is present in a program. So we can provide the course ID around here, which will be the short form, and in the full name we can type the full name of the of that particular course. And also if you want some abbreviation to be used, you can just do that in bracket as well, either at the beginning or at the end. Okay, so then we have a few more settings that we can change around here. So first among them, of course, the name and short name. We can choose the category in which to add this particular course. So from the drop down we can choose what category we want to add this to. So for now I'll just go with humanities. So course visibility decides whether the course will be visible to the students as soon as it is created. So as a teacher, you may not want your course to be visible to the students until you have added a few things to your course. So for that purpose, we have to hide the course in the beginning, and then we can see the course start date. We can decide the starting date of the course. So by default it selects the current date as that particular date, because we can also decide the time or the date at which the course comes to a close. So once the course ends, once the end date crosses, students will not have access to the course, but as a teacher you will definitely be able to access it and continue to make changes. So I'll just remove the end date for now, and I'll just keep starting date here. And because I have chosen the course visibility as hidden, it will not be visible to students as soon as it is created. I can add a small description around here with a small few words I can type in here. If there is an image which I want to show up at the as a thumbnail, on the thumbnail of my course, we can add it over here. There are also a lot of other settings, but we'll just keep it the same for now, because we are in the phase 0. We don't want to go into much depth. Let's keep it simple. So we just have to click on save and return. So when we do this, the course will be created. You can see the course has been created here, and it is appearing in gray color because it is not accessible to students. And also this is other indication which is showing that the course is not visible, because there is a slash, there is a cross mark on the I icon, and that's the reason that is showing us that the course is still not visible to the students. So now the course has been created. Now I want to add the new user to this particular course. So for that purpose I should go back to home, and I should browse to the place where that course is. So that was present in humanities category. So when in the inside, I will be able to see all the courses which are in this. So I want to add the user to this course. I have to go for participants. Now our new user is already added as a authenticated user over here. So all I have to do is just click on enroll user and type in the name of the user. So this new user is being added as a student. So first let us check it out as a student, and then we will change this to teacher and see what are the new abilities which our new user gains as soon as that rule is changed. So now that another course is created and the new user has been added to it, so right side we can see we are signed in as a new user. So let's maximize this now, and when I go to my courses at this moment, I should be able to see two courses, but because the reason I'm unable to see the course over here is because this course was kept hidden, and I'm present here as a student and not as a teacher, so I won't have access to it. So in order to have access to this, it should not be a student. The new user should be a teacher. Let's save it, and now when we refresh it, we can see the new course is now available. But the teacher can see that this particular course is hidden from the students. Okay, and as soon as the hidden option has been as soon as hidden option is removed, students will also be able to see this course being accessible to them. So when I go inside of this, you can see that I don't have much in here. There are some topics and there is an announcement forum. So these are the only things added in a new course. So if you want to add contents to this particular course, what we have to do is we'll have to first download our files and keep it ready at hand. Okay, so let me take a few files. Okay, so I'll drag a few files. All right, so these are drawing files, and let us say this could be PDF, this could be drawing file, almost any file that you have stored on your system can be added here into your course. Fine. So let me just select both these files, drag it and drop it over here. So it's as simple as that. That's it. So all the files that I added are now present over here. Okay, so I can change the name of these files, drawing files, or I can just make it as a presentation. Of course, this is not a presentation, it's a drawing file, but I can upload the presentation file and rename it accordingly, and same will appear over here. So now both these files have been added, and let us see what happens when how the students will be able to see this. So in order for students to have access to this, first the course needs to be made available to them. So even a teacher can go to the settings of the course at the top, and first time this option was chosen as hidden, hide. We can change it to show, and after making these changes, I should come back and click save and display. Okay, so now it will be visible to the students as well. So now let's come back here as an administrator and change this from teacher to a student. Save it again. Now when I refresh this, you can see that the edit option has now disappeared, because now the new user is not a teacher, is just a student, and he has access to these files. So when the student clicks on these files, they will get downloaded, and when he opens them, the files will open using whatever software is installed on a system. If it's a PPT, MS Office needs to be installed on the system. If it is a document, a Microsoft document, then again that needs to be installed on the system. If it's a PDF, of course, PDF reader needs to be installed on the system of the student, and so on. So this way the student will be able to download the study notes and go through them. So next thing we will talk about is how to collect the assignments in the soft copy. Okay, so now that all the notes have been uploaded, okay, so let's come back here as a teacher. So let's change this to teacher, save it, refresh it. So now our new user is again back as a teacher. Fine. So here the new user can click on this toggle, and now the editing has been turned on, and all the uploaded files he can move it between different topics. We can just drag and drop the files depending on which topic it belongs to. Okay. So usually the syllabus of any course is divided into units. for almost all the universities. So you can just name these topics as units. Okay, and if you have the name of the unit, you can type that as well around here, and the files can be just dragged and dropped to their respective units. So if we turn on this navigation, the files can also be dropped here, and the same can be dropped like this. Fine. So this way we can drag and drop the nodes depending on which unit it belongs to, and the same it will appear over there. If you don't want any additional topics like this, you can just either hide the topic so that it won't be visible to the students, or you can just straight away delete the topic if it is not required at all. So till it is made visible to the students, anything that we add into this particular topic will not be accessible to the students. Okay, so now let's talk about adding an assignment. Right? So we have to go for adding an activity. So assignment is an activity. Okay, all these are activities. We'll learn about these in the coming sessions. So in the phase 0, we'll just talk about 2 of these activities. That is the file upload, which you have just now seen, dragging and dropping file over here. And the second, we will be talking about assignments. So let's go to assignments. And once again, the similar interface opens up here. You can see there are a lot of options here, which we have to feed one by one in order to get this ready. So first we have to give the assignment name. So let us say this assignment is on unit 1 assignment. Okay, so we can provide a small description. We can type questions. Okay, we can type instructions. We can tell them how to upload. Okay, if we want them to upload in a particular format, we can just mention all the formats. So all the instructions, questions, and whatever the faculty wants the students to know about can be added in over here. Then activity instructions. So this is where actually we can add all the instructions. Okay, so description is actually a short explanation of what is there in the assignment. We can type in the rules, regulations for what marks this assignment is, and stuff like that. Instructions is where you can put all the instructions on how to upload, how to scan it, and other stuff that you want the students to know. If you want to add any additional files, you can just write the questions with your hand manually and take a photograph of that, and that photograph, if you have with you, you can just drag and drop it over here. Right, so just for demo purpose, let me use this particular file. It's not a scanned copy, of course. It's just a thing. Let me take a drawing file, PDF. Okay, so here I have a PDF file. Fine, so let me just add that PDF file over here. So this PDF file can contain questions and instructions. So if the faculty doesn't want to enter all these things, you can just leave them as blank. And everything which he wants the students to know about the assignment, including the questions, the instructions, how to upload them, what is the time, and all, everything can be added to this one file alone, and that can be just dragged and dropped here. And the faculty can just go and click this. But before that, let's just go through the availability, because this decides when the assignment becomes available to the students and by what time the students have to make the submission. So allow the submissions from, this is the date starting from which the students will be allowed to upload. So we can decide this date as a date in the future. So for example, I'm taking the unit 1. I'm handling the unit 1 right now, and by 15th I'm planning to complete all the contents of the unit 1. So on 15th, if I choose the availability, so the students will get access to the question paper of the assignment on this particular date at this particular time. And I can also choose a due date, the date by which students should have completed and submitted this assignment. So I can just, let's say I just want to give them 2 days to complete the assignments. I can choose that date here. And no matter how careful we are in informing the students, some of the students will they will not be able to complete the assignment, either because of there may be various reasons. We'll not get into the depths of that. So some of the students, for whatever reason, they are unable to complete the course, but if you still want them to be able to access to upload the assignment, we can just choose a cutoff date. We just have to enable it first, and then we'll have to choose a date. Okay, so all the submissions which are done after this date will be shown as late submissions. Students will be able to upload it, but they will get a red colored text will appear when the faculty is making the correction, telling that the assignment got late. So now the faculty can decide to cut a few marks for being late and other stuff. And the last one, of course, is remind me to grade by. So this option, if it is enabled, and if the teacher's mail ID is correctly fed into the system, then the teacher will get a mail reminding the teacher that this assignment needs to be graded by this particular date. Okay, so let me just choose a date which is in middle of these two. So cutoff date is 20, and by 21st. Okay, let's go for 19th. Okay, 2 days. So 2 days for submission and 2 more days for late submissions. After that, 2 days for grading. This is what we can do. So we can come down here, and if you want the notification to go to every student that is added, of course, to this new course, no users have been added, so it will not go to anyone. But if students are added to the course, we can just choose this, and a notification will go to every student, and these notifications will appear inside this bell icon. Right now you can see we have no notifications, but if I choose this send notification and click on save, notification will go to all the participants, all the students which have been enrolled in this particular course. So next time when they sign in, this bell icon will show a message here, 1, 2, 3, and so on, depending on how many notifications are there. And when the student clicks on it, he will get details about that. Fine. So let me just save and return to the course. Now we can see that the assignment has been created. Now let's come back here and go into this as a student. So how this assignment will be visible to a student. So let's go back here on the left side and change the role of this from a teacher back to a student. Let's save it, and we are already signed in on the right side, and when I click on the refresh, we will see that the edit option will disappear. Okay, so now you can see the edit option is disappeared because the new user is now a student. Okay, so as a student, he has access to the files, he can download the files, and he can also see the assignments. So below the assignments, you can see that the assignment opens on 15th February at this particular time, and it is to be submitted by this particular date. So as a student, when I go inside of this, I have the ability to download the question paper, but I cannot submit my assignment yet. So I can download the question paper, I can start working on it, I can write down all the assignment solutions and keep it ready. So as soon as the date reaches 15th at this particular time, the student will get a submit button over here, and using that submit button, the student will be able to upload his assignment. So let's make that change over here. So what we will do is let's change the date as an administrator, because administrator has access to any changes. Fine. So he's like a god in a Moodle, wherein he can control every aspect of the website. So as administrator, let's go to the course. So we are in the new course, we can see, and he's having the option to edit the course as well. So when we click here, and when I click here, I will get access to the settings. Okay, so now let's do one thing. Let's change this date to our current date. So today is 7th of February. So 7th February morning, 12 at night, this is when the submission actually starts. So when I click on save, and when I go right side, I'm present here as a new user, as a student. So when I click on refresh, now you can see that the add submission button is now activated, because the time for submission has now reached, and I'll get the option to add my submission. So I can just click on add submission, and here this is where I need to drag and drop my assignment. So let us say I've done my assignment in one of these files. I can just drag and drop it here. The student can drag and drop multiple files as well. All the files will appear over here. You'll be able to watch them as a list showing the date and time when this was uploaded. The student also has an option to update these files if they ever want to. So they just have to click on the file and click on update. Okay, so they can drag and drop fresh files in here. They can just select and delete a file. They can download a file at any point of time. So this maintains a virtual copy of the assignment for all the years to come. And for NBA and NAAC, if they ask us to show us the assignment for whatever reason, for some criteria, then we can just open the assignment from here as a teacher or as a student, or everyone will have access to this. So you can just open it and show it. Of course, the assignment of one student will not be accessible to the other student, because it's not supposed to be accessible, or else they'll end up copying assignments from others. So teachers can have access to all the assignments. So let's just click on save, and now as a student I have completed submitting this particular assignment. You can see this has the button of submission has changed to green, which is saying done. Then it is saying submitted for grading, assignment was submitted these many hours early. So this is counting the days, the due date it is counting, right? So it's counting how many days before the due date it has been uploaded. And if we are modifying the assignment at any point of time, it will show up over here. And the student also has the ability to make a comment, like a question was having a mistake or something. Okay, so these comments will reach the faculty members, and the faculty can take accordingly action to either change the questions or modify the questions, or provide clarity about questions which are not clear to the students, and so on and so forth. So this completes the submission of the assignment. And once the submission of assignment is complete, let us finally see how the faculty will be able to make the corrections and how he will be able to mark the grades for that student. So once again we will have to come here, and new user who is now just a student, we will change this back to a teacher. Now of course these changes as an administrator we don't have to do every time, fine. Now because I didn't want to create additional users for every activity, I'm just using a single user ID to make all these changes. So you need not make these changes every time. So teacher will always, from beginning to end, will remain a teacher. A students will again remain students from start to finish. The changes to the rules will never be done, right? So now this new user is back as a teacher. So when I just watch it as a teacher, I'll just have to refresh it. Now this is actually a little ironic, because I first submitted this as a student and then I'm just valuing it as a teacher. So okay, it's a story of Aparijit. Okay, anyway, so now as a teacher, when I see I'm not getting an option to submit, because now this is an ID of a teacher will be able to see all the submissions. So below here the teacher can see how many participants have submitted and how many needs grading. So okay, sorry, there was a problem with the sound. So the teacher will be able to see here how many submissions are completed. He can see how many participants are there in this particular course, how many have submitted, and how many need the grading to be done. So at this point, the student, the faculty can just click on grade. If the faculty clicks on grade, one by one, the submissions of each students will open up here. The faculty can go forward and backward between the students from here. He can also search for the particular user from the name. You can just type the starting or ending numbers of the user, and the same can be opened from here, and the faculty can provide a grade. So the default grade which was there in the settings was set as 100. So the same is appearing over here. So out of 100, how many marks the faculty wants to provide to the student, we can just check it over here. So before going there, the faculty just have to click on this file, because this is the upload. You can just open that file. Now this is a drawing file which opens up in AutoCAD software. Okay, it's still loading. Fine. Anyway, so it will open either in PDF. If it's a Word file, it will open in MS Office. If it's a presentation, it will open up in a presentation. So the file that we just opened, that was a drawing file, you can see. So that file is opened in a AutoCAD. So similarly, depending on what file type it is, it will open up accordingly using the different software. Also, you can see that as a faculty, as a teacher, I am able to see the comments from the students. So I can see which question is not clear, and as a teacher, I can comment it back. Fine. So teacher response. So responses from teacher can be saved. So when this is saved, the student will be able to see what these responses. Fine. So if these responses contain some explanation to the question, or the teacher can request the student to come personally and clarify what the doubt is, if the doubt is not clear from the comment itself, and all kinds of actions can be taken by the teacher. So once the problem is found out, the teacher can provide a solution to that in the form of either a new upload of the file, which then becomes available to all the participants. Okay, so this is how the faculty can create it. If instead of going for grading, if the faculty just wants to view all the submissions, we can just click on view the submissions, and all the submissions will appear over here. Fine. So right now there is only one submission which is appearing over here. You can see submitted for grading. So if the users have not submitted, it will just show as not submitted. And this is where if the student is submitting late, if any assignment is submitted late, then that also will appear over here itself. So let me just quickly go to a different course and show you how these submissions will appear. So I'll just log out from here, and now I will log in using my teacher ID for this particular website, for our college website. And recently I had conducted a test for first year students on engineering graphics. Let's go to that assignment and see how that assignment appears. So internal exam, and this is the assignment. Okay, in fact this exam was going on yesterday while our streaming was happening. Probably that's why, that was the reason why, Moodle was loading very slowly in yesterday's class. So here we can see that total participants are 131. The test was conducted for a single section containing 65 students, and 52 students of them have uploaded these submissions. And I have completed grading of most of the students. So still 13 uploads that were done, they still need grading. So at this point, if I click on view all the submissions, I will be able to see all these submissions over here. So on the left, I'll see the name of the student, then email ID, then status, whether they have submitted or they were late submitted. You can see this particular student submitted it 30 minutes late. So the exam was held for 3 hours. A question paper was given to the students, and based on the questions, students were supposed to solve those questions in AutoCAD file, and those AutoCAD files they have uploaded here. So some students got late, probably because internet also was giving a little bit of trouble yesterday. So some students were having trouble uploading the files, so because of that some students ended up turning their assignment a little late. So at the bottom here, you can choose which of these files are actually shown. So I can just go ahead and choose no filter, and when I do that, all the students will appear here. So you can see students who didn't make the submission are also appearing here. I can just arrange them in the increasing order of the first name, because first name is the roll number. Okay, so let me put it in the increasing order. So I can just click again and again on this till I get it in the required format. So yeah, so this is roll number 1, roll number 2, and so on. Okay, so you can see here that I have already graded a few students by checking the file. I was able to grade them, and some students are yet to be graded. Okay, so these students are late. We are also getting information about how much time they were late by, and some students, they didn't submit the file at all. We are getting that information as well. So this is how the faculties will be able to check the assignments. Okay, so just to summarize, in today's session we learned about phase 0 of implementing the Moodle in our college, wherein we learned how to add the users, how to create courses as administrator, and as an administrator we also learned how to add a user to the particular course and change him or her into a teacher's role. So we also learned that a teacher has ability to modify the contents of the course, whereas a student can just have access to the files and the contents of the course, but cannot make any changes to the course. An administrator has access to everything on the Moodle. Okay, so I think this is what we had for today's session. In the next session we'll go for a little advanced options in the Moodle. That one I'll be calling it as phase 1. So in the phase 1 we will learn how to create question banks and how to create quizzes using those question banks. So we'll learn about all the different types of questions which we had. You must have already had a view of about these different types of questions in the first class, introductory class, wherein we went through the demo quiz, and you got a chance to view all the different types of questions. So that's about all for now. So finally, before ending, the current site that I'm using is for our college, right? But if you want to use it, if you want to start using Moodle, and if you don't know anything about Moodle, and if your college doesn't have a Moodle site for itself, you can just create the Moodle accounts on places like Moodle Cloud, and there is another website called nomio.com. These two websites are very famous providers of free Moodle sites. You can just register yourself here, just like creating a Gmail. You can register here. You will get a site and a Moodle account. So Moodle Cloud is the official provider of Moodle, and you will all the Moodle here will always be on the latest version. All the courses that you create will be upgraded to the latest version as soon as the latest version becomes available. But the problem here is that recently they have changed their agreement, and instead of providing perpetual licenses for free with some limitations on users and the amount of space provided, they have changed it to provide this course only for 45 days. So only for 45 days, and for a limited students of 50 users, you will be able to make the use of this Moodle Cloud. So there will not be any advertisements or anything on this. The only limitation is after 45 days, the course will not be accessible to the students. So fortunately, I had created a course on this Moodle Cloud long before this change in policy was implemented, and I have a perpetual license of that available for me. So this is where I do all the experimental work, and once a course is ready, I just make a backup of this course and load it into the college website. So if you want to use the course for a longer period of time, and if 45 days are not enough for you, and if you have more than 50 students, the other option for you is to go for Nomio.com. The one big disadvantage of this is that advertisements will appear on the website, but you can add students up to 500 users can be added to the website, and you can create unlimited number of courses as far as the space doesn't cross 200 megabytes. So these are the limitations for Nomio. So I do have a course here as well with the same name, and before our college implemented the Moodle and made their own website, this is the site which I was making use of in order to provide my students with the courses. Thus you can see, as soon as I open it, a big advertisement appears here at the top, and you can just sign in here. And one more problem here in Nomio is once you create your course in whatever version of Moodle you have created the course, that version remains freezed over there. Okay, so I had created this particular course in the older version of Moodle, and the interface, you can see it's the same. It is the same old interface, whereas the newer interface is much more intuitive. It's more free flowing. It's easier to make edits. It's easier to know what are the different options, and navigation is easy, and lots of additional changes have been made, which makes the newer version much more user friendly and much more usable. Whereas when it comes to the older version, it's a little on the back side. It's difficult to navigate. It's difficult to remember which options or which settings are available at what place, and you may have to move a lot back and forth a lot in order to understand this older version. But anyway, this whatever course I had prepared here, the same I was able to upload it back on this website as well. So okay, so you can see the same course that I had created here in the older version, I was able to have this over here. So we'll learn more about backing up the courses and moving it from one website to another in the coming days. And I think the time for our today's session is coming to an end, so we will stop here, and let's meet again tomorrow, same time, same place, with more advanced features of Moodle. So if you have any doubts, you can just let me know in the comments section, and let me see if there are any comments which need answering. So most of these are just greetings. They have provided the names. There are no questions. Okay, So if you have any questions, just go to the comment section and put in the questions. Okay, let me just questions before we end. Stop. Right. Okay, so the form has also been shared here in the comments. You can just give your feedback to get your attendance registered. This will be useful to us in providing you the certificate at the end of the course. So if you don't have any other questions, we will stop here and let's meet again tomorrow at the same time. Thank you.